Hi everyone, we hope you had a great holiday last week. This past weekend we ended tournament season in the Jacksonville APA by giving away $6,000. Congratulations again to Christians, Angels, and Liars who took home the 2023 Elite Cup titles. Teams earn eligibility to the Elite Cup by finishing in playoff or triannual position in a session after qualifying. So if your team gets qualified for the World Qualifier at the upcoming triannual or by winning the River City Shark this session, then you will be playing for Elite Cup eligibility in the fall and spring sessions. We also kicked off the spring singles regional qualifying window and qualified 6 players this weekend, 4 in 9-ball and 2 in 8-ball. Congratulations to the nearly 70 players that qualified last season who are going to be competing in the October regionals. Any singles boards played between now and November 30th qualifies players for the spring regional. So even if you're qualified for the October regional, you can play on these boards. It's for a new qualifying window. The spring regional is the last opportunity to advance to the 2024 APA Pool Players Championships in Las Vegas. That's the APA singles competition. And we will be posting another calendar with a list of all board opportunities for this season, this qualifying window soon. And we hope to see you guys come out and try to get qualified. All right, but the purpose of this meeting is to wrap up the summer session, get us ready for fall, and think about a few other things coming up. We're also going to go over some bylaws reminders and a few updates and reminders to league procedures. Throughout this meeting, I'm going to talk about the APA Pool League app and our social media pages. If you're not already following us on social media or you're not logged into the app and you need some help, give us a call and we can help get you into that as well. Okay. So our fall session is right around the corner. If you're thinking about putting a team together, please text us that information sooner than later so we can add your team to the schedule. You don't need your entire roster confirmed, but if the team is a for sure thing, then give us a heads up and we can add to the roster later if needed. This helps us with planning and confirms your team has a spot because some of our divisions are actually nearing max capacity. So let us know if you plan to get a team in so we can make sure you guys are on the schedule. As we head into next session, we have quite a few players and teams also getting ready for Las Vegas. We just wanted to take a quick minute to congratulate those players and teams again and wish them luck this year at the World Pool Championships. 8-ball is the first event in Las Vegas, and we'll have 3 teams there representing Jacksonville APA. Good luck to Kotski, Wiso Salty, and Strokers in the 8-ball Pool Championship. We also have 3 9-ball teams out there playing on behalf of Jacksonville APA. That's Shark Week, We Got the Runs, and Adult Supervision Required. So good luck to you guys as well. And in addition to our standard 8-ball and 9-ball teams, we've got ladies, masters, team captains, and Jack and Jill teams all competing. All in all, there's over 70 players from Jacksonville APA traveling to Las Vegas to play in the tournaments, and even more headed out there to support and play in the Mini Mania. So you can follow along. You can follow all of them on CompuSport to see how they are doing, and keep an eye on social media for live streams of those matches. If you are live streaming, if you're out there and you're live streaming any of your matches, please tag Jacksonville APA so we can share those and make sure everybody gets a chance to watch, and make sure that your post is set to public so everyone at home can virtually cheer you on. All right, so now we're into some quick administrative and bylaws reminders. As you're all aware, in an effort to curb the burden of makeup matches, we revised the makeup match policy last fall, not allowing makeup matches except for emergencies and instead encouraging pre-matches. However, here we are a year later and we're seeing an equal but opposite problem with pre-matches. While teams are doing what they should be doing and planning ahead for known league absences, there's still an unreasonable amount of matches that are needing to be played outside of the scheduled league time. This creates an issue for the host location as well as the players who've committed to playing league during a certain time and on a particular day. We're making no changes to the bylaws at this time. However, we wanted you to know that we're watching this problem. We consider it a problem. We're considering bylaws changes if the burden of makeup matches or pre-played matches continues to be disruptive to league. If you have any thoughts or input, or you'd like to offer a suggestion, we would love to hear from you. You can call or text us or talk to us next time you see us, but we wanted you guys to know it's something we're thinking about and considering some improvements to those bylaws. We've seen that most makeup and pre-play requests could have been avoided, especially with better rosters. So rosters can have up to 8 players on them and should include a variety of skill levels so teams aren't dependent on 1 or 2 players participating, and you have multiple options as lineups. When teams are well structured, the need for makeup matches or to pre-play a match should be rare. We notice that it's often the same teams requesting pre-matches or makeups. And with that said, if this is your team, please reach out. We want to help you address your roster issues. We sometimes don't realize that a team is struggling if they're keeping defunct players on the roster that aren't showing up. If that's your team, drop these players going into the fall session so we can see who needs help. Call us, text us, let us know you're looking so that we can send new players your way. We don't want to see your team struggling. We don't want to see you guys constantly needing pre-matches or makeup requests. We don't want that to be an issue for your team. So if we can help you address those roster challenges, we want to try and also address the pre-play and makeup problem we're seeing. That said, sometimes situations do arise that would justify a pre-play and or a makeup match. Pre-plays would be expected maybe if half the team has a known conflict, maybe it's a family team that's going on vacation. That would be understandable then if they're going together that they would end up needing to pre-play some matches. Pre-plays shouldn't need to happen because only 1 or 2 players are going to be out of town. That's when the other 6 or 7 players on the roster need to step up and be there and play. Pre-plays shouldn't be requested as a way to manipulate matchups or to play a particular lineup. If your highest player can't make it to league that night, they're just not going to be in that lineup. We shouldn't be pre-playing matches for that reason. If teams are caught manipulating matchups or trying to play an ideal lineup or something using pre-plays or makeups, there will be penalties applied for that. We also want to clarify the bylaw regarding pre-matches and makeup matches. And the bylaw says that pre-plays are always approved. It doesn't say that they're required or that the opponent is required to play it. If the opponent agrees to a pre-match, same as it used to be with a makeup match, then it's approved. But we're not going to force them to agree to it. So we will intervene and require a pre-match or a makeup match for that matter in some circumstances, depending on the circumstances surrounding the situation. For example, we're going to talk about the teams traveling to Vegas here in a little bit. But for the most part, we're not going to require a team to agree to a pre-match. We believe that teams and players join the league to play on a specific day at a certain time, and we want to respect that, and we're not going to require them to meet outside that time, except under extenuating circumstances. On the other side of it, we've talked a lot about makeup matches in the last year. Makeup matches are only for emergencies. We are again receiving makeup requests all the time for non-emergency situations. Like the logic we laid out before about rosters. If one player is sick and another is out of town, that's not an emergency. We've had to deny a lot of makeup requests lately because the requests are for non-emergencies. So just keep that in mind, and please try to respect that we're trying to encourage league play to happen when it is scheduled to happen. And makeups, pre-plays are encouraged if you do need to handle players that are going to be out of town, but makeups are only for emergencies. On a related note, I mentioned earlier that we may take into consideration extenuating circumstances, and the 70+ players and traveling to Las Vegas next month is one of the extenuating circumstances that we are going to make an exception for. We will require that a pre-match or a makeup match is available to those teams traveling. Given that most of the teams headed to Las Vegas are going to have an issue in their week 2 or 3 fall schedule, depending on their travel dates, we recognize there may not be adequate time to schedule a pre-match before they leave. If a team is in this situation and you have players that are traveling to Las Vegas, option 1, the first thing that you should do is play the players that are not traveling to Vegas during the scheduled league time. If you can't field 5 to 23 with the players that are not in Las Vegas, then you should also play someone twice. That's your next way to handle that situation. We'll be in the first 4 weeks of a session, so teams can play somebody twice. If after you do both of those things, you still can't field 5 to 23, then any remaining matches needing to be played are going to have until August 25th to be completed. If they're not played by then, we'll be double forfeiting those matches. So those teams or players that are in the situation of heading to Las Vegas, talk with your team, come up with a plan, make sure that you guys are utilizing the players that are here before you schedule any pre-matches or makeup matches. Okay, so this conversation is also related to scorekeeping. We've made it through our first full session, fully electronic. We appreciate all the patience you guys have shown. We know that it's been a transition, but we think overall that transition has been going pretty well. But we also know we've learned a lot along the way, and we know that there's some ways that we can make improvements still. Some of the things that we started this session worked great, and some of them not so much. We're continuing to think about those things, and we'll be making some improvements to try and address the issues that we see or other ways that we just feel like we can offer a better player experience for you. You may see some of those changes roll out over the next session or two, so just keep an eye out for those. But there are a couple of specific things we want to address heading into the fall session. First is electronic score sheets. This is new for all of us, but it's become a little bit apparent that we need to give a couple of scorekeeping reminders. So your electronic score sheet should be thought of as a paper score sheet. Every team still needs to keep their own score for every match. That did not change with the APA Scorekeeper app. We're seeing a lot of matches where only one team has kept score properly, and the other team either didn't keep score at all or only marked the wins. And they maybe show an inning or two per rack instead of the true number of innings for the match. We're also seeing entire matches that are only entered by a single team, or teams are not submitting their match at the end of the night. If you're not sure what I mean by submitting the match, I mean that you scroll to the bottom of your electronic score sheet showing all 5 matches played, and you click submit match at the bottom of that score sheet after all your matches have been scored. All of these issues are creating problems in terms of skill level review. So if only one team is keeping score, then we don't have an accurate picture of what's going on in that match. We need accurate data, we need all teams to participate, and we need all teams to keep score. Some teams have opted to have their own players keeping their 8-ball score on their own, since it's just one button of end turn. Just an idea, maybe that's a good option for your team. If scorekeepers or devices are stretched thin, you could suggest that 8-ball players keep their own score, but find a system that works for you and make sure that your team is covering the scorekeeping appropriately. Bonus points are part of this conversation. So bonus points are awarded when the team fee is paid in full. You get either one bonus point in 8-ball or 5 and 9-ball. And you get another bonus point in 8-ball or 5 more in 9-ball when the score sheets are complete and accurate and submitted on time. Electronic score sheets are treated the same in that respect. So in the fall session, if you are not submitting your match, or electronic score sheets are incomplete, or it's obvious that somebody didn't actually keep score and the information is inaccurate, we're going to take the bonus points for that. So captains, co-captains, all teammates have access to the electronic scorekeeping app. Keep an eye on that and make sure that your team is submitting everything correctly and on time. The other thing is patches. So we hope you've been utilizing the patch request form all session to request your patches. If you haven't or didn't know this was a thing, you can scan the QR code on any one of the team envelopes at League Play, and it'll take you to a patch request form. All you need to do is request your patch there, and we will get it out to you. There are a lot of things about this procedure that has worked pretty well, and there's some things about it that are still really clunky, and we know what those are, and we're still working on brainstorming a good way to fix some of those challenges that we've seen. Expect to see some changes coming soon after the new session starts in that process, but for now, just keep requesting your patches using that patch request link until we communicate any changes, which we will do on the app and on our social media if we need to. Clean sweep patches and mini slams and grand slam patches, you can also look for those in the first couple weeks of the new session. We will send those out automatically. You don't need to request those at the link. At least not this time around. We're going to go ahead and send all the clean sweep, mini slam, and grand slam patches out to the players and teams who have earned those. All right, so we are on to wrapping up our summer session. The wildcard draws are happening this week. This is the last week of regular session play for all divisions. Next week is playoffs, and the week after starts the first week of fall. But next week is playoffs. So in recent sessions, we've tried out a new model for the wildcard draws, and the division reps have facilitated those on league night. That's still going to continue this week. We've made some enhancements to the process, though. At this time, we are going to be doing the wild card draw at the start of league play. So your division rep or another designated person is going to facilitate a very quick players meeting. We know that many teams have difficulty getting there early, so the meeting is going to start at the regularly scheduled league time so that all teams can participate. If the captain can't be there, that's fine. Make sure you have a player there to participate. The meeting should only take a few minutes. It's not going to delay the start of league by more than 10 minutes or so. In the meeting, your division rep is going to go over the playoff structure for that division and is going to facilitate the wild card draw. Instead of only the eligible teams drawing for the wild card at the end of the night, requiring everyone to stay till the end to get accurate standings and all that good stuff, all teams are going to draw a wild card at the beginning of the night. The division rep is going to record the cards that were drawn and put them in order, highest to lowest, and send that information to us. The team with the highest card that does not finish in triannual or playoff position will be the wild card team for that division. This allows us to verify the session results after we input your matches. Since scoring electronically, we can input them the next morning. Playoff matches and wildcard results will be posted daily to the APA app and Facebook page, and all teams participating in playoffs will be contacted with a text message next week. Those schedules will also update on the app once we put the information in. Playoff matches will occur next week during regularly scheduled league play. Teams finishing in first place in divisions of 6 or more, or teams winning a playoff match are going to advance to triannuals. You can bookmark the dates for triannuals. They're listed here on the screen. You may also want to bookmark those best of the rest dates that you see just in case. Meanwhile, look for those singles board states. Keep an eye on the APA Pool League app. We're going to have lots of information coming out about Southeast Challenge Scotch doubles tournaments, the Fall Captain Co-Captain tournament, exciting changes to the MVP program, an opportunity for the bounty winners to compete. The first team headed to Hawaii through Destination Division Championship. The second annual Trunk or Treat, a huge singles regional event coming up in October, our juniors program starting next weekend, doubles division championships in December, and a player appreciation. All of that is way too much to talk about in this meeting, so you'll have more information coming your way soon because all of those things are happening before the end of this year. So good luck to the teams participating in playoffs. We can't wait to see some of you out there in Las Vegas in just a few weeks. And thank you for playing APA. It's been a great summer session, and we can't wait to see you again in the fall.